What's up, everybody? It's your coach Jaron here with Forge. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about accountability and why it's important to be working alongside other people when you're in the process of accomplishing a goal or embarking in the process of training. Now, back when I ran Savage Barbell Club, one of the things that was the most unique about us was that rather than just being an open access gym where people could come in and do their own thing, or even just a one-on-one personal training type studio, because I did run the place that way for quite a while, but we really didn't hit our stride until we focused on training in groups, right? We had different training crews that met at 2 to 3 times throughout the day, and that was really when the gym ran the best, when people were having the best time, and ultimately making the most progress and getting the strongest. And the biggest reason for that was the accountability of participating in this process with other people alongside you. You had people who were experiencing the same joys and frustrations that you were. They were fighting to get their lifts higher or prepare for competitions just like you were. And they were developing the ability to learn the process of coaching, not just themselves, but also of coaching others. It was very beneficial for, let's say I'm giving a cue to one person in a group, then, the 3, 4, 5 other people are also hearing those coaching cues and they're learning how to internalize that for themselves, but they're also seeing what those cues do in another person training alongside them. And so over time, what happened as people became more experienced is you would have these groups of 6 to 8 people that were all able to kind of coach and encourage each other, and not just in the rah rah you've got it cheerleader mode, but they were able to evaluate each other's technique. They were able to help each other make good decisions on choosing weights for max effort lifts. They were able to provide each other feedback in the form of technique, encouragement. If somebody missed a lift, they learned how to get into somebody's head and to motivate them in the way that they specifically needed. And as the gym shifted in that kind of a direction, then my role as coach became a lot different, because it was my job to facilitate those types of relationships and those types of interactions, right? And so over time, people developed a sense of accountability, not just to me as their coach, but also to each other, because that training group and that training environment was not the same if one of those people was missing. We knew when you weren't there, right? And so from a compliance perspective, that made everyone far more likely to show up regularly, which we didn't really have much of an issue with that because people enjoyed being there. But you feel a sense of camaraderie and a sense of almost obligation to the group to show up. And so we'd have people who maybe even got injured or weren't going to be competing that would still come in to spot and load and help out the lifters that were. And that kind of environment was different than the way that a lot of the other gyms were training at the time, right? And I think that something that is reminiscent of a lot of the old school powerlifting type training crews, and something that I really tried hard to model with my gym. And so with COVID having happened and so much of training moving to online forums like this, or people training in their own garage gyms, or just kind of isolating themselves even in a public gym setting by lifting alone with social media and filming things, that piece has been lost largely. And I think people are missing out on the experience of participating and training hard together in a social situation and the sense of accountability that comes with that. And so even though we're on an online platform, one of the big reasons that I created Forge was to replicate that as closely as we can remotely, using tools like the internet and tools like video and the online forum that we have. So I encourage you to get to know the other people in this program, right? Get to know the other members of Forge. Check out some of their training videos. Feel free to read through the coaching cues that I give them, because those are going to be opportunities for you to learn for yourself, even though it's not specifically about you, right? My goal for this is for us to have an environment where all of you get to work together in the same way that we used to do in person in those small training crews, where you can encourage each other, where you can learn from each other, where you can offer feedback to each other, and really enrich your process of training. It'll help you learn faster. It's going to make everything a whole lot more fun, and it's going to help you stick in it for the long term.